Hi, and welcome to the Southwestern PA Business Podcast. I'm your host, Mandy Pryor from Southwest Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we are so happy to be here with Upper St. Clair Public Access TV. And today I'm going to be talking about Cox Woodworking. So let's get that conversation started and see what they have to offer. Hi, and welcome.
Hi, Mandy. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem.
Thank you.
And so tell me a little bit about yourself and your history and what you started. You're in Bridgeville.
Yeah.
So you're right here, right nearby.
Yeah, so we're right here in Bridgeville on Washington Avenue, 502 Washington Avenue at the corner of Station Street. We've been there since August. So, long story short, I can give the long version, I can give the short version, but long story short, woodworking has been in my family for 50 years. My grandfather was building doll houses, literally elaborate, massive doll houses in his basement. And it kind of evolved from there. He would build, something somebody showed him, toys. He really got into building wooden toys. And then he decided he was going to go into craft shows. So,
all right.
Yeah, so he wanted to get into the craft show business. Mind you, he's a steel worker all these years, so doing it on the side, always a side hustle, looking for more opportunities to support the family. And so he is literally in the basement of my grandparents' 900 square foot home, pounding out items down in the basement, sawdust flying everywhere. Grandmother upstairs yelling about sawdust everywhere. You're cooking stuffed cabbage and meatloaf, and you got to taste the sawdust in it.
That really adds to it. You don't need the bread,
No.
just a little
It
sawdust
was a holder.
on top.
Yeah, it was a good
It's a binder.
Good binder, right? Too funny, but we grew up with that. My dad went into the steel mill as well, and then on the same level, we lived right next door. I grew up right next door to my grandparents, and we always heard the saws going. We always smelled the sawdust.
And it is a good smell.
It is a good smell depending on the wood. Some wood is good, some not so good.
Oh, I don't know.
But 9 times out of 10, anybody that walks in the store loves the smell of the wood. And when they walk into our shop to pick something up in Aliquippa there, they go, "Wow, it just smells amazing." But nonetheless, about the sawdust. So my dad would get home from work 5 o'clock, grandfather would get home from work 5 o'clock, they'd eat a quick meal, and they'd work 4 or 5 hours in the shop downstairs in the basement. And I never wanted to be part of it. Like, just too many bends, too many egos in the wood shop, and definitely not enough room. Like, just can't have enough room. And so we decided to build a wood shop. So behind my grandfather's property there, they built I think it's a 30 by 30 wood shop, fair size. And the words were to my dad from my grandfather, if we build this shop, we will never have to worry about room again. We will have enough space for everything. Famous last words, right?
Yeah.
So the shop got built, it evolved, they continued to work. They continued to do more and more craft shows year after year. Got my grandmother involved with her knitting and sewing, which was great because it kept them busy. My mother got involved with all kinds of hand-painted items, woodwork crafts, knitting, sewing as well. And they would travel all over doing these craft shows on the weekend. And I can remember in my late teens, early 20 years, driving whatever vehicle I had at the time, filled with every tote and box possible to mankind, and going and helping them set up at these craft shows. So I grew a passion for being out with them, not so much the woodwork and not so much the craft yet. That came down the road as necessity came for my family. I moved away for many years, Texas, got married, had children, and we decided to move back here to kind of help take care of the family and the family properties.
We all come back to Pittsburgh.
We all come back. We all love Pittsburgh. Yins, that Yinzer thing.
Yins all love Pittsburgh.
This Yinzer thing we just adore. But when I came back, I quit my job down in Texas as a store director for a major grocery company. Quit cold turkey and just came back to be here with my parents and raise my family. I wanted to raise my youngest son a Pittsburgher. I wanted him to be. He looks like it.
It's the tradition. It's the weather change. It's all of that.
Yeah.
Good schools.
He was born for that. So when I moved back, I obviously didn't have a job, didn't have work. So necessity came. Like, I'm gonna go in the shop finally and start working and building stuff, because, like I said, I never wanted to do it before, and now I needed to. So. Got in there with my dad, and he just began to teach me how to use the different tools, how to work with the different woods.
Was he very thrilled that he was like, finally?
My dad doesn't get
he
thrilled
wants to be
about
a part of this.
much. He doesn't. There's not much that excites him.
Yeah.
But I knew it meant a lot to him. It helped build a relationship more so with him and I. That those years I missed out on being in Texas. I missed out on a lot of years with my family and my parents and people up here. And so we were able to work side by side in the shop. There's tense moments, there's good moments, but he taught me a lot. So I'm thankful for that. And we learned over the time that I was in there with him now that I have very much a different approach than he does. So he's more traditional. My grandfather, if a customer approached him and said, "I'd like a chair built a certain style or a certain way," he'd say, "I don't like it.
Good for him.
I don't like it. I'm not going to build it." My dad would kind of be the same a little bit, but he would build it. Me, I want to build everything everybody asks me.
Yeah.
I try not to say no. So I try to build everything everybody asks me, and I try to build it to their specifications and their needs the best to my abilities. So in that sense, now it's really changed my dad and I, because he's doing things that he's never done before. It's taken him out of his comfort zone. So it's been kind of cool in that aspect.
Well, and it's definitely changed. The industry's changed. The demands have changed a lot.
Sure. If I could go back just a bit, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Rogers, Ohio.
Oh, of course.
So it's the largest tri-state area flea market. Not to give them a plug or anything, but we have been there for over 30 years as a family. My grandparents, my mom, my dad, we have literally been in the same building, Building H, for 20 plus years. So there's this 20 by 10 booth that we just stuff all of our stuff in it, and we have sold thousands of items to people all over the country. The people come from Virginia, Florida on vacation to visit family. They come in there to see us, and they buy stuff every year, and it's just been good. It's been my dad would like to consider himself the mayor of Rogers, if that's a thing. That's right. But now it's evolved to where my sons are involved. My wife is involved. We all kind of have our own unique roles within the Cox Woodwork business. My wife's more or less the manager. She does some of our purchasing and buying and things of that nature. And she tells me how to lay stuff out. We try to, work together on those kind of things. But because, it's not easy. She has different thoughts or ideas of how she wants to do stuff. But you can see her footprint all over the store.
And in the sawdust.
Yeah, in the sawdust too. No pun, right?
Yeah.
So, so one day we were driving on Washington Avenue. We had just left the post office there doing, I think we were getting our passports that day, and we got caught at that light at the corner there, and we look over and see a sign that says "For Lease." And my wife said, "Turn around." So I turned around and we went in, and we called the leasing manager of the building, and it happened real fast.
It's sometimes good.
It just happened real fast. We called him. He let us in right then. He wasn't even there. He had somebody rush there, get the door open, let us look at it, and within 4 days we're signing a lease.
That's amazing.
So it's something I've always wanted to do as a kid. I've always had this passion or dream that I was going to own or run my own business, but it was going to be a bar or a gas station. So
this went a little rogue. If you've
a little off plan. I wanted a full service gas station where you actually wash the windows.
That's nice.
But
there's so few of those.
I don't even know if they are.
There's I think it has to still be there. Finks in Aspinwall.
Oh wow, okay.
If you want full service,
I had to go to Finks.
Yeah, Finks. Every once in a blue moon on a snowy day, it's a great.
Nice.
I know all the spots.
And I don't drink anymore, so bar was out of the question.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do it. Like just didn't want to do it. But after running, retail businesses for almost 20 years, it was exciting to think about running your own business. It was stressful. It was hectic. The lead up, putting a date on a grand opening, which we opened on August 14th. Thanks, Mandy, for our ribbon cutting ceremony.
We cut that ribbon.
We cut the ribbon, had some cake and snacks, and a good time. But yeah, it was stressful, but it was good. We put a deadline on it. We all worked hard, and we got there. I had family come in and help me put the core and the wood touch.
Well, and it's a beautiful location.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it's unique in there in its sense. Like you put in a lot of thought in the colors and the scheme and.
Yeah, we wanted it to have a woodwork feel, and not just this, retail, four-wall retail store with just all these fixtures. So, most of our fixtures in there are, wrought iron with the wood shelving and, the hardwood floors and custom countertops and different things just to give our own spin on it. But since then, we've really evolved. My sons have gotten involved. They do a lot with graphic designing and stuff, which has help us personalize our items. So we've catered to a lot of different requests that customers have, whether they're buying an item that they want monogrammed for their grandchild, or something they want for a retirement venue for somebody that's been with the company for 50, 60 years. So we've done different things of that nature, including it into our woodwork. So I kind of got a couple things to kind of show. I got a little gift for Mandy here. So this is a custom burn.
Get out of here! I don't deserve that.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So it's a custom piece, handmade charcuterie board, cutting board.
Oh, and it has my name on it.
Yeah. So
oh my goodness!
Just a little something that we do.
And it smells really good
like
too.
Wood
Is
sawdust,
it
right?
that fresh?
It's
the engraving.
It's very aged wood. The engraving's fresh.
It smells good.
Thank you.
Now I want to use it.
That kind of shows a little bit of what we offer and our quality, and just trying to meet the demand of what the customers are looking for. Charcuterie boards are huge, and who can say charcuterie? Like four times real quick.
Even I've made them now. I can make the salami rose. That was big for me.
Oh, that's huge.
Once you can do that, you can do anything. Thanks, TikTok.
I'll have to get into. I can make them. I'm not laying out a charcuterie board.
In here. Look at that! Isn't that a beautiful piece of wood? So it's two tones. So that's just one. How does that work when you get the two tones in the wood?
It's just natural grain. A lot of imperfections within the wood as they grow. I'm one who likes to show the imperfections in the wood. A lot of builders, even including my dad, like to try to cut out imperfections.
I think it makes it look unique.
I think it shows the character of the wood, and we try to emphasize some of the character in the wood. So even the burning is calculated where we're trying to put it. You can put it anywhere on that piece of wood, but we try to calculate it to show the burn itself, but we also try to do it to emphasize the uniqueness of the wood.
Very nice.
So those are just some of the things that we do. We've really taken...
Thank you, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's super exciting. I can't even give it back because it has my name on it.
That's right. I
can't be like, oh, okay, you take this now after the show.
So I've always wanted to do the epoxy. So this is like the, it's the new, it's been around, but it's a new thing. So there's a story behind the pieces of wood that I'm holding. So there was a tree, when I was 5 years old, there was a tree on my grandfather's property. Had to have been 60 feet tall, and it sat in between his property and my dad's property. And my uncle came in, a bunch of family came in, but my uncle came in from out of town, and he's an engineer, and they studied this tree over a cup of coffee and donuts, and they were calculating how they were going to drop this tree. This is back in the 70s, so none of these fancy tools. They just used a rope and a chainsaw. So they were deciding how they were going to drop this tree and where they were going to put it, and they did. And I watched the whole thing as a 5-year-old, and I was kind of like amazed. But this tree ended up getting what they call milled and planed down into serviceable pieces of wood. And it sat in my grandfather and father's woodshed for 40 plus years, the slabs of wood, curing. And I think at one point, maybe a few years into those pieces of wood laying there, my grandfather wanted to sell them for about $100, all of them. And my dad talked him out of it, thank goodness. But none of the wood had ever gotten processed for us to work with. So just recently, right after we opened the store, I said I wanted to do something with some of this wood. So we have built some big pieces out of this black walnut.
It's very, I think
So
it's pretty.
yeah, if you put years on this, there's probably about 140 years gap from the time that this tree started as a little sapling until now. So we raffled the very first piece that was made away. Well, I shouldn't say that. There was a piece made that was kind of tucked away.
Of course.
That was never going to be for sale. But we did raffle away a large handmade, what we call our trash boxes and trash bins. So it's a hidden trash box where you actually pull it out and there's your trash can. Inside it's concealed and it's hidden in there. And it was just a beautiful piece.
We don't throw out garbage here.
No.
This is just our display.
So nonetheless, this piece right here is some of the excess that came off of the built pieces that we did. And my son, who is 16, just turned 16 on Monday, wanted to be the one doing all this epoxy. So he laid this all out himself. He figured out how to pour the epoxy, cure it, treat it, finish it, polish it, all those things.
Wow.
So this is one of the first charcuterie boards that we did. And when he does the work, and even my other son, we try to let them, if they make it, they sell it, they get their percentage of it.
That's
so
nice.
It gives them incentive to work and do stuff. So that's kind of what we do. And you know, this thing has gotten a ton of looks at the store already. I'm gonna be very, very sad when it sells and goes out the door. He also names all his pieces, which is funny, but that's the piece of, you can see that there.
Put it in that camera over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you gave me a great idea. I don't know if it's going to work.
Okay.
I mean, you're the wood guy. My grandparents' house had two enormous, messiest tree in the world, linden trees. And we don't know if it's been sold to other owners, but it's still, I'm from Aspinwall.
Okay.
Anyway, that's like one is not doing so well this year. It's the first year and they're 200 years old. I wonder if they do go to cut it down, take some of that wood.
Yeah, get
I'm
you
gonna
some
bring it to
pieces
you.
and set it aside.
Because they were like so important to our family. I mean,
Absolutely.
generations grew up sweeping up after them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They had like the flyers and they had the seeds and then they had the leaves. Like it was a constant thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the whole town of Aspinwall smells like these linden trees because they're so enormous and they have this fragrance. So I know, I want to go down.
You need to get you a piece of it.
I got to do some work
Set it
now.
aside.
I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna bring it to you and see what you guys can do.
Well, it's
with
funny, in the wood shop, there's a shelf, and it's just full of everything you could imagine. There's screws in there that are older than me. It's bizarre, but we save everything. And when we started cutting this, we actually scooped up jars, peanut butter jars, empty peanut butter jars of sawdust from
That
this
makes
black
sense.
walnut. You know, because you never know when you're going to need it. So
Well, and it does. Do you use it to fill in anything?
we use it
too?
to fill some of the imperfections and things of that nature.
So everybody has a little piece of
Yeah,
that tree.
Yeah. So real excited about this kind of work that we're doing, and you know, my son and my oldest son, like I said, he names them, so he engraves all of them. This one's called the Red River. So he's having a lot of fun with that. Yeah, and you know, he talks to his mother when he's done building them, and he'll say, "Mom, what do you think?" And you know, and she writes nice handwritten tags to hang off of them and create a life of it. Like
Sure.
bring it to life, not only you know, to sell to our customers, but there's a lot of passion involved when we're presenting.
Well, and that's great. Your
throughout the
sons, I
store.
mean, they're not, how old are they?
So I have a 27-year-old.
So he's right there.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. He's on the borderline of,
adulthood. Well,
adulthood.
we say
He's
18,
an adult, but
like,
it's not. Yeah, we know. Come on, it's not
No.
18. What was I doing at 18?
yeah, right? Like,
But-
Mom, I need gas money.
But yeah, the 16-year-old, he's going to have a hand in it. So my grandfather's name was Ben, my dad's name was Ben, my brother's name was Ben.
Am I seeing a trend here?
And Benjamin is Ben. So he had no choice but to be in the wood. So
They got you after a while. You tried to avoid it. You're like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
And then you were like, okay,
yeah.
all right.
So
And it's beautiful work. I mean, to pass that down generation after generation. I was kind of the same way when it came to gardening. My mother had a giant garden when I was growing up, and I wanted no part of it. I was like,
Right.
now I have a garden. I'm
Right.
starting my seedlings this weekend. I already did some of
Yeah.
them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah, we
coming
have
of
a big
age
garden,
thing,
yeah.
I think. All of a sudden, you like all the things your parents liked. And you're like, where did that come from?
Right.
Like, why do I like macrameing and gardens? Like, who knew?
I didn't know I was getting old.
Yeah. Talented.
Oh.
We're getting talented, right? Is that the
Wise.
right?
Yeah.
Wise.
Yeah.
So what are some of the most unique pieces that you've made?
Most unique. Well, so I just had one. Customer picked it up yesterday. Local customer who has supported us since day one. And I won't name names, but he challenged me with something I'd never made. He said, I have a very small apartment and I have shoes. He loves shoes. He has nice shoes. And he says, they don't fit in my apartment. And I can't go horizontal because I can't walk over them anymore. I need to go vertical. So he asked me if I ever heard of a shoe tree. So I've heard of hall trees, which, you hang your coats on and they have a little storage bench and, things of
Yeah.
that nature. But I had never heard of a shoe tree. So I looked it up and sure enough, there are shoe trees. So I had to fabricate.
Kind of like a hat rack for shoes?
It's a hat rack or coat rack for shoes.
I want one.
So it was pretty unique.
I have shoes everywhere.
Like I said, he just picked it up yesterday. He loved it. Started balancing shoes off of it all over the place, and that was pretty unique. Then just the different requests for cutting boards, charcuterie boards. I've had some very unique and different ones, and I think every project that we work on is challenging and unique in the sense that everybody's taste is different.
Yeah.
Right? And everybody looks at it different. I'll get pictures of people's homes or their living rooms where we're going to be putting an item and they're like, well, what do you think? And I was like, well, no, I really can't work that way. What I think is going to be totally different than what you want. So let's keep talking. So we talk a lot. There's a lot of process in building.
Well, there's so many different styles. There's like traditional style and modern style and,
Right.
eclectic style.
Yep.
And then some transcend both sides.
Yeah. So we're finding out as we're there that it's not just a cookie cutter operation. Like you have to be willing to evolve and change and adapt and do what not the market is asking for, but each individual customer. So that's
very customized.
Yeah, that's very unique in the sense. Like I don't typically like to say I can go to people's houses to look at stuff, but I have. To look at things because it really, as a builder, it really allows you to see what's going on in their home and what's gonna fit just right for them. So I've enjoyed that part of it. We're also trying to figure out different ways to be involved in the community. When you open the door and you put your sign on the door and open it, people come in and you don't know what they're coming in for, but you got organizations coming in, schools coming in asking for donations. So we're trying to stay involved. In that, Chartiers Valley has come.
And you
to us.
have, since you love, craft shows, all the community days are coming up. Bridgeville has theirs,
Right.
and
Yeah.
all the surrounding communities.
Yeah.
So
We're looking forward to the, I don't know the title, the street fair.
Bridgeville Day on the Avenue.
Yeah, Day on the Avenue. So we will have.
I'm
a
usually
booth
in
out
the
there.
dunk tank that
Dunk
day.
tank. I'm gonna be right next to the barbecue.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
They're gonna have us
That's a
next to
good
the
spot.
barbecue, but
I'll
we'll
try
have
and
a
come up
spot out
before I
there.
get doused in water
Yeah.
for an hour.
Yeah, And then trying to get involved with different builders, there's a couple guys that are local that also do some woodwork that I've really gotten to know, and we bounce ideas off of each other, but I'm also looking to incorporate some of the things that they're doing. Maybe we, have some sort of collaboration or something, and I just think it's unique in that sense that you can do that and you can come together on those things.
Especially if they're trying to build and like the homeowner wants something unique that they don't do.
Right. Or it's something that I haven't done in the past, and I'm looking to gain some insight on it, and I have no problem going to somebody else's wood shop and, watching their trade and what they do and learn from them. So I'm excited about that. June 15th is the street days in Bridgeville, but June 14th we're going to have an in-store event. We haven't announced it yet, but we're going to have an in-store event.
Okay.
We have an artist coming in from out of state who's going to be bringing some very, very articulate, and I don't have the words to describe artwork. I'm not that guy, but just beautiful artwork that's all over the world.
Really?
And we're working with
what
him.
type of art?
Abstract.
Like more paintings, more.
It's almost all painting, but it's beautiful. Everything that they do. It's Coyaso. I don't know if it's arts or I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyways.
Don't worry.
Gabriel is going to be bringing in some items into our store to bring into the area to just try to draw a different crowd, or somebody who's just not. We want to be known for like a shopping store, not just come in and smell sawdust, or we build a cabinet for your bathroom.
There's more to do there than just purchase something.
Yeah. I mean, if you walk in now, you'll see some custom clothing. You'll see candles. You'll see plants.
You want macrame? I have a couple.
We don't have any macrame.
I have like a stack of them. I can't get rid of them.
So
I got really fast at it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You get better at it, and then you're like, well, what am I going to do with all these? I can't just cover my house in macrame.
We bring in items for like the springtime, plants and things of that nature, and then we build around that. So plant stands, tables, different items for outdoors, cornhole boards.
Sports season's coming up.
Yes, so
again.
We just had some cornhole boards picked up over the weekend, and it gets busy like that. So we're trying to, meet a broad range of items for people, and we just want to be known for a good place for people to come. We put a little sitting area in there where we have a table with some magazines. We have coffee that we serve, for people every day if they choose to sit down. Some people come in and sit down and use our Wi-Fi and, do some work.
That's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I should come in there.
Yeah, good coffee. Occasionally, we'll have some treats or snacks. And if you've never been into the store and you got to come see Kobe. Kobe is our world famous, or Bridgeville famous, 2-year-old American bully. He's like the most popular guy on the street.
You're a bulldog.
He's an American bully. He was there.
What's a bully?
He's an American bully. So he's a mix of pit bull and bulldog, and he's just real stout. And
I like that.
But he's our most reliable employee, so he's always there smiling. He loves batter and dough because they feed him nonstop.
Oh, that's
so good. We're always there, and all the girls come in from batter and dough, and people just stop in just to see him. So if you haven't been there, please come see Kobe. He loves attention.
Come meet the puppy.
He loves attention.
It's like the best draw. I'm coming in to meet the puppy.
Yeah.
And some other items I know I picked up, which is a funny story because I lost it for like all through Christmas. But I purchased like a beer bottle opener, like a encased in wood, like very nice from my brother. But then I hid it from myself, so I couldn't find it till his birthday, which was in February. So I had to go get it.
So you got him, yeah.
But
there's
all kinds of things.
Knickknacks,
I'm trying to think of everything I saw. I remember the beautiful waste bin covers, waste bin covers.
Yeah.
Cornhole board. I mean, there's something in every corner. There's benches.
Tables. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everything you can look for, and you have to see the chessboard.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty impressive in itself too.
Yeah. Chessboard, tables, chair, stools. There's just something for everybody there. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great. We think it's a great place. I've gotten good feedback from it, so we're just trying to stay positive and excited.
Well, I'm excited about this.
Yeah. And we got some other gifts. I won't go through all of them, but I wanted to share. So my wife wanted a taste of Texas. So she grew up and was born and raised in Texas. So her dad is from a place called Fredericksburg, Texas. It's about an hour and 10 minutes south of San Antonio. And if you go there, it is an old Western town, literally with like swinging doors, hardwood sidewalks that you walk on with your boots
Cool.
and all that, cowboy hats and stuff. But it's nothing but shops. So it draws people from all over the state, and they go in there. But there's a place called Fredericksburg Farms. Like I said, her dad was raised there. So she actually solicited Fredericksburg Farms about being a retailer for their product, because she said, I gotta have some Texas stuff in there. So she brought some of their items in, and people have loved them. So there's a couple things in here for you. So this is an air freshener, and it smells incredible. And then there's some,
Aww.
yeah, there's some barbecue sauce.
It does smell really good.
From Texas. There's some, you can't go wrong with Southwest.
It says, let me show you. It's a cross, and it says, "Smell it, don't eat us," or "Don't eat it, trust us." So I won't eat this.
Don't eat it.
It's like don't eat the bath salts, right?
Right. So South Texas mesquite barbecue sauce. So there's just,
Oh, fun.
yeah. So we carry a lot of different things. There's not just, like I said, it's not just woodwork. We're trying, and it's not. It's personal. It's personal because, like I said, that's
Well,
her
and
dad.
I like that.
That's,
I like-
that when she looks at that shelf of all that stuff, she sees her dad, and that's important to her, and it's important to us that we do those things. So.
Well, I can't wait to have this on my charcuterie board with my cross hanging beside me. It's a perfect evening.
So, and there's some
right?
other stuff in here for you too, but I won't
Oh my gosh, you
open each
didn't
and
have
every
to
one
bring
of
me
them.
all
Yeah,
of this.
thank you.
Well, now I got to come see the puppy again.
Kobe.
I'm like, is it spicy? Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
And please, if you can, get out to see Cox Woodwork in Bridgeville. They have a brand new awning, which has caught my eye, I know, driving up and down the street. You're directly across from Salon Boss, around the corner from Batter and Dough. And doing great stuff, family-run business. I mean, all the good stuff. So if you're buying birthday gifts, if you're buying something for somebody's new home, consider going in there instead of going to like one of the big box stores out there, and supporting a family, people with a dog. They have a dog. I mean, that's reason enough for me to go anywhere.
Absolutely.
So. Good. Well, thank you so
Mandy,
much for
thank you.
coming
Yeah,
on.
Thank you.
And we'll be sure to share the event that's coming up with your artist on our social media pages and on our e-blast.
Yeah,
So if you don't subscribe, southwestregionalchamber.org. And hopefully we can get some new faces through the door after this.
Thank you much.
Thank you very
Appreciate it.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Southwestern PA Business Podcast. If you want more information about Cox Woodwork, please join their Facebook page, look them up on Google, and we'll see you again for our next episode.